Yeah, at least we got the episode recorded and shit. So.
Oh yeah, the episode's good. We just reshoot the intro because I think it would be cool to have the helmet again, and then the rest I can finish in post.
Sounds good.
Well, yeah, you kind of make a joke like, "Yeah, so we're reshooting the intro because our computer sucks." Because I'm wearing a different hoodie too.
Great. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We had to do some reshoots, so that's why we have different hoodies on. And I disappeared. Oh, there I am. All right. That was scary. Hello, I'm Spencer. This is Nazir. And this is the Different Spectrums podcast, where we talk about movies and shows and a bunch of other stuff. We make jokes, so don't take us too seriously. But you know what? Take us seriously. We want both. We want to make you laugh, and we want to make you cry. So
we know a little bit about a little bit, huh?
Wow! And he just had a stroke.
Good evening, folks. I'll be your therapist for the day.
So we like to say, please subscribe to our channel, like, follow, all that fun stuff. All the help we could do, that would be great. And yeah, we're taking a look at the Mandalorian.
Yep.
And Luke Skywalker coming into the scene. We're going to talk about loss. We're going to talk about people losing their mentors to gain others. Is there anything before we get into the clip?
Yeah, man. So like you said, we're doing it. We had to reshoot the intro because we're having some lag issues. But enjoy the rest of the discussion and the scene itself. Super sad watching Pedro Pascal cry, and Baby Yoda. There's nothing cuter than him. Yeah, like you said, we're gonna get into loss, letting go, grief, and what's the best thing to do for that person in front of you. Could be relationships, mentorship, whatever it is. But let's have some fun and enjoy our new outfits and the 30-second ad. So let's get into it. Check it out.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Get to the clip. Jesus Christ.
Woo woo.
Are you a Jedi?
I am. Come, little one.
He doesn't want to go with you.
He wants your permission. He is strong with the Force, but talent without training is nothing. I will give my life to protect the child, but he will not be safe until he masters his abilities.
You go on. That's who you belong with. He's one of your kind. I'll see you again. I promise. All right, pal. It's time to go. Don't be afraid.
May the force be with you.
Welcome back, folks.
Bia bia.
And we're back.
Jesus Christ.
I got a helmet here. All right. All right. So we just watched the scene from Mandalorian, ending of season 2. Great scene. I was telling Nas before when we watched it, I was getting chills when Luke Skywalker came into the scene, because that was such a huge, it came out of nowhere. When first watched it, and it was so surprising, like, holy shit, Luke Skywalker's back.
It's happening.
I know. I nerded out so bad. I was like, the green lightsaber and everything. I was like, oh my God.
I know who that is.
Yes. So a little bit of backstory, I guess. Just simple backstory. Mando is taking care of the child, which is the little Baby Yoda. And the Empire wants to see Baby Yoda dead. They do not want him. Supposedly because they're using him for cloning. That's a theory. But yeah, so he's taking care of him, and the guy who tries to shoot Grogu, if we post that in the clip, even if we don't, that's fine. They're trying to kill him, and so now he has to go into hiding, and that's why Luke's there, because he sensed Grogu. He used the Force, and it drew him towards Grogu. And so now Mando has to give up Grogu in order for him to prosper and be able to go to his fullest potential. And that's where we are, and that's where season 3 is going to kick off. There was a little bit more to the story in Boba Fett, but that's a different story for a different day.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, excited for season 3. Love the show and can't wait. Nas, what do you think about the scene?
So when we originally talked, bored of you.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
So when we originally talked, we were talking about, grief, loss, a new beginning, a butterfly coming out of its cocoon type of vibe, right?
Mhm.
It's a whole new world. Something, something,
Copyright, can't do that.
something, something, something. So that's where we're at. But then, I was thinking about some of my other humans that I've been working with, and so it made me think about that. So I think I'm going to tie that into the story. Is he was talking about, and we say this in athletics all the time, like talent is awesome, but talent uncoached or talent unwilling to put in hard work ain't gonna get you that
Mhm.
far. Like you gotta have some training, and you gotta have
Mhm.
some technique, and you actually gotta work on your craft. You can't just be gifted. That can only take you so far. I work with a lot of humans that are gifted.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into actually succeeding, and being confident, self-love, compassion, all that. There's a lot that goes into well-being, and not just like good genetics because I don't have depression because it was I was blessed and things are good. A lot that
Mhm.
goes into it. So I think maybe that's where I'll go with it today.
Okay.
I forgot a lot about the scene. Obviously, when the lightsaber goes off, like I didn't immediately know who it was because I'm like, who that is?
Wait, who? Huh?
Who that don't be over there?
Why you got a green lightsaber all black? Who is
Yeah,
this? Who's
yeah.
this? Darth
Why you
Vader?
wear all black? Oh, he got the green one. Oh, that nice. Isn't that
Oh,
nice?
okay, the
Oh, that's
green
so
one. That
nice.
narrows it down a little
He
bit.
got one of them
Narrows it
green ones,
down.
boy. I tell
Qui-Gon's back.
you. So, I mean, obviously that's the thing.
Yeah.
But the entrance is kind of cool. It's almost
Like,
kind of a replica of the entrance of Rogue One when Darth Vader comes up in there and then just starts
it is.
murdering people. So it's pretty much a replica.
It is, but at least he was doing robots that were trying to murder people.
Yeah. But it's kind of the
Literally
same type
murder
of vibe.
robots.
And so I think that's pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
all the silhouettes of the robots being super like dark. I remember they're supposed to be like unbreakable, and then he just goes and
Yeah.
murders them all instantly.
That's Luke.
That was pretty cool. I think Pedro Pascal crying at the end, that was tough. When we first watched the scene, I was like, got me. Heart attack.
Yeah, I got a little
That
misty
was
in my helmet.
yeah, that was tough. So the second time around we watched, I was like, I was prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it the first time around. Even though I've already seen it, I just wasn't prepared for it because in my mind they're already back together.
Right.
And Boba Fett and all that stuff. So I'd like, and there's a couple other things I thought we could talk about. Mentor or leaving their mentees, kids going off to college, people leaving their loved ones that are long distance. So I've got a lot of clients that are long distance, and so like that hug goodbye at before they don't see each other for like another couple months or like a half a year. So my international clients that are like they go back to Asia like once a year if that because it's so expensive. Thought a lot about a lot of different things. Right, saying goodbye. Bleh. I just came back from vacation, was seeing Colin, and because everyone was like so sick, I didn't even like hug anyone. I didn't touch it. I usually give someone a goodbye hug. I didn't even really talk. I was like, all right, just walked out.
All right, see you later. Thanks for getting me sick. Appreciate it.
He just looked at me and then he died of norovirus. So that was fun. So that's what I was thinking. A bunch of different things after looking at it. A bunch of different ways to relate it mental health wise.
All right, fair enough. So since we went down the path of making choices, I guess, and trying to better yourself, I guess a little bit of backstory from the Boba Fett episode. It's pretty much Luke gives Grogu a choice between completing his training or being with Mando.
I don't need no practice.
I don't need what? And then at the end of the day, he chooses Mando. Mainly because he wants to be happy. They're alluding to the fact that he was there in the Jedi Temple during Order 66. So now he doesn't want to go back to that, just training and leaving all of your
emotional connections behind, right? He wants to have those emotional connections now, since he found somebody that he really, really loves. And so then he
Yeah.
chooses that instead of being a Jedi, which fair point, because Jedi
They didn't really
didn't have a
serve a lot
great
of them.
track record.
Well, yeah, they're all miserable as shit.
I know. But then also it's like, it's weird because do you want to be complacent? I guess you're not complacent if you're, just a person that's not in the Jedi or in the Sith. But there's a lot. I feel like there's some complacency where you're just like, whatever happens. But if you're one of those people, you can choose to do more, I guess, if that makes sense.
I love that he picks. What is Mando's actual name in the show? Does he have a name?
One second, let me just look it up again because I flip and
I
forget
love
it
that he
every
chooses
time.
Mando.
Yeah,
Because you can still work on your craft and perfect your powers and all that, and work on your training without this Jedi. I mean, you can still. He gets stronger every episode, every season.
he does, but then at what point? Because, like you said, it's
There's only so
more
far you
of
can go.
him not training it, right? Because Luke Skywalker is the best.
Training,
He's the best,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think they just say it's just saying Mandalorian. I bet people are in the comments being like, "What the fuck? His name is that?" Oh, Din Djarin. That's it.
Oh, there we go.
Din
Yep.
Djarin.
Din.
My boy Din.
My boy Din. I was so many jokes right now.
What up, Din?
What up, Din? Yeah.
This is his new nickname, Din Din.
Din. What up, Din? Din? You dinner ready?
All right.
But yeah, man. I mean, I love that he chooses Pedro as well. I mean, I'm always going to choose love over occupation. I feel like the one just leads to like a bunch of regret, sadness, loneliness, isolation. But maybe it's for the greater good.
Right.
Also, your religion was a cult, so I mean, I really don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's like a loving cult. It's not a we're gonna stab you cult unless you're Anakin.
I feel like they did a lot of murdering, so I don't know.
It was like justified murdering, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All in the name of God, so it's fine.
It's all for the Force, all right. It's all for the Force.
We murder them so they go back into the Force. Got it.
Yeah, they're ghosts now. They can be ghosts.
For Ghost Force Ghost, or whatever they were. Yeah.
Force ghosts, yeah. Kind of going off of that. I mean, I was listening to a song by Logic that just came out called Lightsaber, which is interesting. That was that. And yeah, I mean, he just talks about how you should be focusing on the things that make you happy, because he says, don't get me wrong, like having a good job pays the bills and everything, but if it's not what you want and being miserable doing it, then what's the point?
Yep.
And that's why I was having like so many. I really want to make sure that this podcast gets picked up because I love doing it, and I'd like to, one day actually do it for money and things like that, because I love doing this stuff, and being able to do it, for money would be great. And that's interesting because I want to get your thoughts on this real quick on, since you are doing the job that you love already, or maybe you want to do a job that you love more, right? How do you Jesus Christ, how do you see, like, where do you see like your passion going to, honestly? It could be for the show, it could be just for life in general, because I know we all love doing our trips and stuff like that. But yeah, like where do you think your passion is going to be going into leading up into the future?
So I can take this down a really kind of somewhat dark path.
Okay.
Me and Colin were talking, we were around some family and this and that over there, right? And he was talking about depression and what's the meaning of life, point of life, like, well, what's our purpose? What are we doing here? And so some of us know that Colin's contemplating that before the baby, this and that. I contemplate that all the time.
Right.
And so there is a plan, but there isn't really a plan, Spence. It's show up, see what happens, show up, see what happens, show up, see what happens. I think that's also a trauma response from childhood.
Mhm.
Like they're all tentative things, but also life has gotten to the point where I try not to be super rigid on what's going to happen because I have no idea. Things just pop open.
True.
That one job I applied to at Baylor, I told you about a while, and it took like 6 months, and it led me on, led me on, led me on. Well, that popped up when I was in Virginia, but
Mhm.
it's the director position, not the assistant director. So I applied for it. The
Right.
person who was running the show I was going to work under, husband got a new job, and so now she's moving. So I applied for it. Well, is there a chance I can get it? Yeah, I met with the
Mhm.
entire athletic team, so I mean, it's a chance.
Right.
You know, people tell me, "Do you want to just go into pure autism related work?" Sure. People
Mhm.
tell me you want to be a professor and teach. Sure. Do you want to continue to do clinical therapy? Sure. Uh, do you enjoy doing your podcast? Sure.
Mhm.
Man, I don't really know. And then when you talk about like relationships or where's life going and trips and what brings you joy, it's a lot of things that bring me joy. But can I pinpoint one specific thing and that I know I'm going to run towards right now at this moment in time? No. I also think that
Right.
when I try to, and that's when you get even more anxious and wound up.
Right.
So I'm just letting all the cards play themselves.
Right.
The podcast we're going to keep doing no matter what. It's going to be fun,
Yeah.
and we just nerd out. Now that it's at like a actually sustainable pace,
Right.
it's easy to do and it's fun. For a while
Right.
there, for like a year, for at least 6-7 months, it was like legit work. It was work. Pumping out
Yeah.
seven pods a week. That was intense,
That was
bro.
tough. Yeah. It's like, all
That
right,
was-
hey, see you later. And then back again. There we go. Here's another video.
Here's
Hey.
another video. So that was a divergence, and we can get into more of the other talking later. Because whenever I tell people where do I see things going, or what's the point, or what am I doing, or what am I super passionate about, like
Yeah.
I don't really know. Sometimes I'm passionate about a lot of things, and also I'm not sure if life has the most meaning. I was like, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, I'm not suicidal, nothing wrong with me. I'm completely safe. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder about things like that. So for me, it could be I could be happy doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And I think I'm super blessed and privileged with that. Some of my
Mhm.
other clients that I work with don't really have that. You know, they
Yeah.
got their one degree that's going to be specialized, or they're going to come out and they're going to go into like some type of marketing or sales like you. And then, I
Mhm.
mean, that's where they might have to stay for a while in a place that they don't really like because that's not what they want to sell or market. But then they
Right.
might find a company that they actually enjoy or a passion project that they enjoy. I'm lucky that I enjoy a lot of different things. I've been working now for 8 years. The doctorate degree, I'm very lucky, and a lot of doors are open.
Right.
So it's a complicated question that you ask. We'll
Yeah.
see what the world brings.
See, and that's the thing I kind of get to is that I feel the same way. I don't really want to go down one road because it's just, I feel like I have my hand in everything right now. And why would I want to limit myself to just one thing? Um, I was even thinking about like just getting a like day or two job where I go to like a roller skating rink and I just play music. Like I was just thinking about doing that.
You're just a DJ
'Cause
now?
yeah, just
We could wear the
DJ because I
Mando
love
hat.
music. Yeah, that could be my thing.
People like
Uh,
the anonymity.
there you go. See, who is that mysterious man? It's
Yeah.
just me, like underneath.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I love having sporadic ideas, especially when it comes to like the show or anything.
Mhm.
Because I feel like we can do anything with this and just run with it. And that's what really gets me happy and going. Because currently at my job right now, it's kind of
Just
like
a job.
it's just a job. It's just, it could be better. But I think at some point, I would love to do this full time. But yeah, I think just being able to be ourselves and talk about things that we want to talk about is fun enough for me. And being able to hopefully do it on our trip that we have coming up, that would be
Yep.
even cooler.
I think if we
uh,
were to go out towards a real goal of this, it would be kind of like,
yeah.
Pat McAfee and how he has it like in his
Right.
own studio and his boys and guests and all
Yeah.
that. I think that would be that would be probably the ultimate goal. Separate
Yes.
studio, we go in there, nerd out.
That's what I'm saying. And, hey, who knows what happens? Who knows where we're going to be? But I would love to have us be like just have our own studio and, like you said, just make our shows together and be like, hey, look at all this stuff we got now.
Yeah, look at how we therapize this and have a bunch of new therapists on, super nerds,
Yeah.
special guest actors.
That also, yeah, that'd be cool.
Here's a random thing. So the podcast on, geez, I almost call it Andor. What the hell is that thing that we're on? What's the podcast?
Anchor?
Anchor. There we go. Well, Anchor by Spotify. Very easy.
Hey.
There's this new thing where it shows you how many people follow, because it's part of Spotify. So how many people follow us on Spotify? I never knew this, but we had like 200 people follow us on there. And that's not like any ads or anything like that. It's just people just that follow us. That's not saying that they listen to every episode, but they do follow us, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And as I told people in the past, or I might have not, but we had 98, we were in the 2% of Spotify last year of most material published in health and wellness. So that we published a lot of content.
We did.
Not saying it was all good, people, but we were in the top 2%
a lot of stuff
of Spotify creators putting out podcasts, which was kind of cool. This year it'll be less, but it'll still be pretty close, because now instead of 25-minute things are all an hour. So it'll still be close. Should be really that. In some estimates, it actually could be more because it's a longer amount of months. But like what I'm trying to get is you just don't know where it's going to go. We're going to continue on the path that we're on and see how it develops over the few years. Before I figured out this YouTube short thing, we were at 170 subscribers on YouTube for like the longest time, maybe like a month or two. We're at 260 now.
Yeah.
Like less than 30 days, because I figured out the YouTube shorts.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Just growing, keep learning. That's the great thing about this, is that we just pick up something one day and we're like, oh yeah, we should do that. But yeah, going back to this clip.
Let's go back to the clip.
I think, okay, so you are on the side of like picking more love over kind of just your career, right? That's what you said. In that moment, would you?
It depends when I'm talking about in that situation with the Jedi, yes.
Okay.
Depends on what type of love, how good the intimacy and emotionality is. Depends on what your career is going to be. Depends if that partner can move with you. When we're talking about actual relationships, in the real world, in these United States, there's a lot of things that go into that choice.
Right.
A lot of things. So that makes it more complicated. In the Jedi one, I'm fully with picking your friend.
Okay. And so with this scene, would you be on more of the Mando side, Pedro Pascal's side, in terms of kind of just being like, okay, I think you need to just, this is your point of where I can only get you so far now. This person is going to elevate you. It's kind of like how we watched that Mike Tyson scene in the show, right?
The coach.
Yeah, with the coach, where the coach is telling him like, Mike, I can't, this guy over here, he's going to take you to a whole other level. That's as far as I can go. So how do you relate to Pedro in that sense?
So I do that all the time in my practice as a counselor. I'm like, this OCD stuff is intense. Like, I need you to see a specialist and go like on this website, or go find someone in the community where there's eating disorder stuff, man. I can help guide you through a lot of it, but you need a nutritionist. You need someone working with you like a couple times a week. Like, you need more than what I can provide you. So at the counseling center, right, at colleges, you can see them like every other week, and then it's like every other 3 weeks. If you need more work, more treatment, more therapeutic help, you need a full-time counselor. Long-term counselor is the correct word. You need someone specialized. So if you're coming to me with, trans issues, eating disorder issues, severe OCD, I can do a lot of good work with you. I can do a lot, but there might be a certain point where I need to hand you off to someone else. My clients are always cool with that. And if they're not cool with that, then we continue to work together. Unless I think it's going to hurt them.
Right.
So now if I know, like, I can't, like, I've done this with eating disorders. I'm like, okay, now we got to go now. You need more support. I've also seen it with severe suicidality or self-harm. I'm like, okay, well, now we need to go to the hospital. Now we need to work in like treatment there and like maybe stay there for a couple weeks. You can only do so much. You can't do harm by holding on to someone. Even if the kid loves you and you love them, they need a higher level of learning or care.
Right.
It's not always about you. So Pedro did the right thing.
Mm.
Let the little dude choose, let him get trained up. And then later on, it's about the love and connection and what does he want to do. And he picks Pedro.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think that's what I do all the time.
Mhm.
I just did it recently with a student. I'm like, yo, here's these things I know about this OCD that you're doing, the picking. So a lot of neurodivergent folks, ADHD, OCD, will do like the
Mhm.
picking or pulling, or they call it trick it to the man when they pull out their eyebrows and stuff, pull out their hair. They're always checking something, or right, they're biting their nails, and then it's like biting in your nails and cuticles is okay. I don't care what you
Mhm.
do. I really don't. But if it starts to bleed and then now get infected, so now you're harming yourself.
Right.
If you're picking at your feet or something like that, and now it's blistering or you're scratching, so now it's hurt, self-harm technically. So that's when we implement these strategies, and we'll go in a bunch of different ways to create speed bumps to where they don't do that stuff as much. And then also work on not shaming themselves when they do that stuff. So I can't even control me touching my beard. And Colin, well, he's probably always like, why are you always touching your beard? As soon as he got a beard, that's all he did was play with it. All he did was play with it. And his partner kept saying, stop playing with your beard. What are you doing? And it's just like, I don't know.
I touch it, man.
I got to. So that's going to lead into a different conversation I want to talk about when it comes to like identity formation,
Right.
like OCD, shame, and guilt, and just like your personality, just in general. And I think we're going to talk about this in a different Stranger Things pod as well.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking, though, is you made a good choice. It was a tough choice. I've done those choices.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's best for the human that's in front of you.
Right.
And if you love someone,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do what's best for them. It can't be about you.
True. Very true.
Easier said than done. It's easier said and done as a therapist than it is as your partner. Because now, right, they may move on. Whereas me, technically, they're supposed to move on from me eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair
That's what I was
enough.
thinking.
And yeah, I think I relate more to Grogu. And seeing him just like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, the indecisive. I feel like most of the people watching our pod would relate to Grogu because they haven't really been in that other situation.
Yeah, I haven't had that. Like, I haven't been in a situation where I'm more of a mentor. I've been in like management situations, but I haven't like had that connection where I'm like a mentor and I'm like trying to guide them through something that, I've been through 100 times or whatever. So
Yeah, you're in the Grogu situation. I feel like most people were probably in that.
Yeah, totally.
And then I could see you
Oh God,
caressing my beard as I let you go.
ugh, God, I definitely just just push it back.
Force.
Force pushed back.
Yeah, and my beard just entangles into your hand.
Ugh, God, it just devours my hand.
It's just
gone.
like Thor when he gets his powers and his beard tangles. That makes sense. I feel like a lot of people would relate with that indecisiveness and not knowing what to do, not knowing what's best for you. So then you just have to trust the person telling you like, this is best for you.
You can do it.
And then they're like, no, I don't want to leave you.
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea how hard it is.
I can't wait to see where they go to in season 3. Because in the trailer, there was a little bit of a flashback to maybe the Jedi Temple of Order 66 happening, which if they do that, it's going to be great.
Yeah, the murdering of children.
People complain. A lot of people complain about the Order 66, like there's too much of it. And I'm like, I want to see more. I want to see more of that. I want to see more child murder.
Yeah. Sounds so fun. Oh, look at that 12-year-old. They weren't even 12. They were like 5.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? You ain't going to do shit.
Jesus Christ.
Good times.
Never letting you in an elementary ever.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. When I first watched that scene, I was I had to be like 12 or something. I think it came out in 2006. I was 12. That was that was intense. In the movie theater, I'm just like, oh, Anakin, what's he gonna do? Oh, ooh. And then everybody's just dying, and you're like, this got really dark. Holy shit. But yeah,
we all have
excited for
intrusive thoughts.
Pedro Pascal. That man, he's in every hit series right now. He's killing it.
Rockstar.
Straight up, he is.
Funny thing.
Yes.
So there's this thing called intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts happen to everyone. It happens more with people with anxiety or ADHD or OCD.
Mhm.
And people just think intrusive thoughts are suicidality or self-harm or hurting themselves. That's not true. You could have intrusive thoughts about a bunch of different things. Like I had one, I was walking through this shopping center. I'm like, ooh, bleach. I could drink that. Like, why would I think about drinking the fucking bleach? You can have them sorry. You could have them about people that you're walking by and they're like, ooh, they're pretty. Ooh, I want to touch their face.
Oh my God.
So
I think Bill Burr had a great joke about that where he's just like, where he's driving and he's just like, here, I'm sane, nothing's happening at all. Here, I'm on the news, known throughout, just plowing down people.
yeah.
Known, hey, just average Joe, what are you going to do? And I'm on the news 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
Crazy
intrusive
man
thoughts.
in a car.
So people with more OCD, they will perseverate on that, which means like really obsess and like hyperfixate on that they just had that, and then they'll feel bad that they've had like this sexual thought of this woman or this human or a child. And so intrusive thoughts can happen. Religious stuff can happen. Intrusive thoughts. So one of my clients today, I was like, so your shoes. They're like, yeah. I'm like, they're pretty busted. I was like, them motherfuckers yellow.
Not everybody can wear AJ1s all the time, you
Bro, I'm not even judging them being like, oh, bro, they're like busted, like the toes like about to start popping out. They need duct tape.
Okay.
Like
That's
they're like some
pretty
of the crackheads I know back in Flint. Like it's bad.
How many crackheads,
I know a couple.
Jesus.
What up, Bobby?
What up, Ted?
What up, Ted?
Ted the
And I was
crackhead.
like, because I noticed this, if you think about it, I'm sure if you think about it for a second, I know you're going to think that other people notice this, unless you're going to become a little bit more obsessive about it now, and then paranoid that other people are noticing this. Now it's like an intrusive thought. And then they sat there and they're like, God damn it. Well, I said, so why don't we get a new pair of shoes? Because you're always so well dressed. And they said, well, I bought a new pair, same exact pair, but they don't feel the same. And it says, because the other ones, you've broken them in so much, they're going to feel different. And so it's really hard to get into that normalcy of the new shoe. Right. Anyways, I brought up the intrusive thought because I gave them an intrusive thought about their shoes now and about people watching them.
So how do you
be careful.
How do you usually therapize someone having those intrusive thoughts, depending on the severity? Like, not saying they're going to harm others, but like, just those kind of day-to-day ones where it's like, oh, hey, I want to poke you. I don't know.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is not getting into shame. So with two of my client individuals today, many in the past, is not going into shame when you have the intrusive thought or the habit or the thing, compulsion.
Right.
It's going to happen. Let it happen. Now, when you like freak out, like, oh, I can drink this bleach. Like I did the other day, like instead of like, oh my God, why would I'm a monster. Do I want to die? I must be depressed. That's where people go quickly. I'm just like, no, I'm a fucking idiot that thinks about something sometimes. And like, I just keep walking to like, oh, I can eat those Doritos. Well, that was a good intrusive thought.
Yeah. Like, hey, instead of putting cheddar in there, I'm going to clean my insides out.
Yep. So the biggest thing, and obviously I'm making some fun of this, but it was a true thing. I mean respect when we talk about this. But it's having the intrusive thought, seeing it, letting it go past, not judging it, not making it to more than what it is.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Accepting that they're going to happen, accepting that some of my clients are going to walk past. They're in a relationship with their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whatever it is. Right. And they might see someone that's cute and they might sexualize them and like, ooh, I wonder what this and this is. Doesn't mean that you want to cheat on your partner.
No.
Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And doesn't mean that you can't ever love anyone. You're going too far. you're taking like this random thing and then you're running with it.
Right.
So I feel like people that are in Grogu's position will have intrusive thoughts about letting go.
Mm.
Because like you know who Mando is, you don't know who Luke is. So technically you're only making that choice because you love Mando and you have faith in him to make the right choice for you, unless you'll go with Luke because you trust Mando.
Right.
I do that with clients all the time when I transfer them to other places. Like, I trust this person. You say that Nas sent you, like I did today, you're good. And they're like,
Right.
oh shit, I'll do that because you said, if you trust them, I trust you, thus I trust them.
Yeah.
So that's how I work with some of those things. I feel like the intrusive thought for Grogu though is, what am I gonna do? What movie is that? What am I gonna do without you? Oh no, it's from the Robin Williams when he does that graduation speech.
Oh yeah, isn't it like, oh my god, somebody's name?
Yeah, and he's like, and you're thinking, and you're like, what am I gonna do in the next 10 years? Who am I gonna become?
Jack.
Yeah,
Something Jack.
might be. Yeah, it's when
Not
he's like a
Simple
grown
Jack.
man in
Not
college. Simple Jack. He's simple. All right.
Sorry.
What am I gonna do? So that's a vibe, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Totally agree. All right. Well.
So I got some stories.
Oh, please go on.
Been getting a lot of humans, a lot of my neurodivergent women, having a lot of issues with socializing and just being human and with others,
Right.
just being themselves. The self-doubty as heck, won't talk, just very quiet. Everyone will talk in the circle or the group, and then they'll just kind of sit on the outside. So kind of like what Colin does at times. Kind of what happens with you at times when it's a bunch of new people in the circle, and you're like, I'm gonna sit out.
Yeah, I don't know y'all well enough to
I
say
don't.
go all crazy. My usual crazy self.
And so I've been doing. Obviously, I mostly work with neurodivergent folks at the university, and a lot of women lately, a lot of OCD lately, and I'm trying to get them to slowly become like who they are. Like in my office, you're cool, you're vibing, you're doing your thing, like you're legit awesome. But like I want to talk to people, but I don't actually want to because I'm terrified and it's energy and then I actually have to talk to them all the time and say hello to them, this and that. I'm like, just because you have the personality that people would love doesn't mean that you owe anyone to like go talk. You don't have to.
Right.
But I'm letting you know that people would love you.
Right.
They would love to be around you and talk to you. Like if I enjoy you this much, I know others will fucking enjoy you. It's like my clients are like, there's no good people in the world. That's because a lot of them are super fucking anxious and they don't like talking to people because they don't trust them.
Sure.
Like I could show you like a million different good people in my office and you never see them because they don't want to leave like their rooms. And it's really tough to like get these humans to be comfortable to socialize because they feel like they're weird or they're awkward or because they don't talk quick enough or don't respond quick enough.
Right.
The reciprocity in their dialogue isn't quick. So, and then they just get super freaked out and then they'll just not say anything and they'll just avoid all social situations and contact.
Right.
But I know these humans want contact because they're telling me that they do, but they're too afraid to do it. It's this weird, horrible freaking cycle.
Yeah.
And because they haven't been diagnosed neurodivergent until they met me, it's like this new acceptance. Like, oh, there's a reason why I don't like talking. I don't know what to say, and it takes me longer to process. And I dress a certain way, and I hyperfixate everything. There's some stuff going on. I'm like, yeah, you're not crazy. Like, yeah, you're not crazy at all. And they're like, should I tell my parents? I'm like, sure. They could get mad at me. They could get dismissive. They could get defensive. Or they could be like, holy shit, this is cool. They could be like some of my clients where they ask their parent a question and then their brother listens randomly and he's like, holy shit, I thought I was autistic for years. Now the brother's getting therapy. It's pretty awesome. The grown-ass man, right? One of my clients brought it up to a parent and then they had a discussion. The brother overheard it and now it also helped save that individual. I've had that happen so many times where I've helped a kid realize that they're neurodivergent. They bring it up to the family. I've had families crap on them for that, but I've also had it to where it helps out others in the family get diagnosed.
Right.
That's like the greatest feeling. So why am I bringing some of this up? I was talking to this human in the office. He's like, I never cry in the office with you. And the other time I get therapy, I could never say anything. And I would just
Mhm.
sit there and like cry and be a hot mess. And then we've talked about it. The one reason why they're chill in my office is because I got this dinosaur, that sequin dinosaur. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
remember
purple
that.
and then goes black. So I
Mhm.
play with it. They promised me that's part of it that helps them regulate. Also, some is my obviously personality and the way I speak, the way I ask, how I give them plenty of time, super nerdy, chill. Uh, and the kid goes, I give them a compliment. I said, your voice is awesome. They're like, what? I said, yeah, it's so calm and tranquil. Like if we were just friends, let's say we were just friends, I would literally
Mhm.
just lay on the floor because it's my favorite thing. And then I would just have you just talk and I just go to sleep. Like in a good way. And they're like, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said. I'm like, yeah, your voice is so comforting. I was like, you should start doing yoga meditations or like YouTube things. You would never have to go in public. Just do the meditations, no screen. She was like, holy shit, I'm going to do this.
Yes, welcome to Tranquil Voices.
I'm telling you, they are such a grounding, awesome individual.
Mhm.
So they were so happy to hear that because, right, I don't think that they're weird. I think that they're quite lovely.
Right.
And then they said something to me. I don't necessarily remember it. And she said, Nazim, I've never been this comfortable in someone's office or literally around anyone, not even family members, than what I am in your office. And I said, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And I'm like, "Ah." So I tell her, I'm like, I'm going to cry about this later, but right now I'm keeping it together. Ah. It was the end of the day too, so my energy was spent, and I was like, I just don't feel like crying because we just had a blast. Why do I say some of this stuff? I thought all the talents that I had, like Grogu, were stupid. I
Mhm.
thought I was the R word for a lot of reasons because people said that's what I was. Thought I was inappropriate. Thought I was ADHD. Thought I was ignorant. I thought I was crazy because how I visualized things and talked about things and mimicked things. I was on the pipeline to prison most of my life, growing up in elementary, middle school, high school. And now all these things that got shit on, even in college and graduate school, a lot of my personality got shit on all the time. But now
Right.
that's the main reason on why I help people not die,
Mhm.
on how I help people love themselves. Like people live because of my soul, my entity, my personality.
Mhm.
So I told the young human, I said, you also have that same talent. All you need to do is just coach it up a little bit so you can show people it, be comfortable, and help others.
Right.
So we did some training to get them to speak and like help others instead of just thinking about themselves. So Luke was right. We all got talent. We all got skills. We all got these wonderful, wonderful personalities that are usually shit on.
Mhm.
We're like from by the time we're like 7, we start to realize the others and this and that and social norms and all that. And then we just kind of let everything go by the time middle school hits.
Right.
We become like shells of ourselves and it really affects us. And then if we're lucky enough, we can get someone like Mando to love us. If we're lucky enough, we can land in a career where we like people feed off of us in a healthy way.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking about when I seen this.
Yeah.
You can have some talent, boy, but talent untrained or uncoached or work ethic, talent without work ethic is nothing. You'll just be a
Yeah.
first round draft pick that's a bust. Be like a Jadavian
Hello,
Clowney type of thing where you just all the talent in the
Kwame
world.
Brown.
Yeah. You'll have the talent, you just won't have the tenacity.
Yeah.
And most of my students that come to my office are not weak. They're very tenacious.
Mhm.
But they're so scared of life and they've been so misunderstood that tenacity is not shown. Tenacity is them just existing. The human
And I
literally
think
said, Spence, I
also
wish
like
I could just be invisible. I'm like, no, honey, no, we're not going to just be invisible.
stop it.
I'm like, no, that was the
I
saddest thing I
think
heard today.
a lot of that too is like sheltered though. Like you just have a lot of people just have like a sheltered life, and so they don't really have any experiences to go off of. They're just kind of winging it. And a lot of people they can't just go off of that. They have to actually get that life experience and,
They have
feel
to bump into
something.
people that fulfill them and that validate them. And so
Yeah.
if they are sheltered, or in some of my students' cases in these prep schools,
Mhm.
in these private schools, I mean, it's just one way you act and that's it. And if you don't conform,
Right.
you're weird.
I know. And it's terrible because it's like, and then I can't be myself around you because then I'm going to be like, I don't give a fuck if you judge me. I really don't. I don't give a fuck about that. It's more about like if I build up a connection with you and then, I'm not up to like your standards or whatever. I'm just like, I just wasted my fucking time. What the
I
fuck?
did.
Why did I do that? Why did I waste my time with that? And I think that I wish a lot more people would just open up and be themselves. That's a blanket statement, but
Just
it
hard, man.
sucks sometimes. It sucks that like people are just so
Conformity is
uptight.
pushed. Yep.
It's annoying as
Conformity is
fudge.
so pushed. And then the ones that are loud and vivacious and all that, those are like pretty much your idiots that are just super annoying and then they're like abusing
That's what
folks.
I'm
And
saying.
like, yeah,
There's
all
no
the
in
really
between.
nice
It's
people
like
are anxious.
quiet or loud and annoying. It's like I just want in the middle where it's like sometimes you could be annoying, but at the same time you're chill too.
Yes.
I want that. That's me. That's essentially me. I'm just telling myself
Yep.
that's me. I'm annoying sometimes, but then I'm also chill and just like I want to relax. I don't want to fucking go into all this.
I just told my client, I said, look, you want to hibernate and do your thing and avoid the entire world? I said, after I'm done talking to you assholes for 8 hours, they laugh. I literally go home and take a 2-hour nap every day because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds like a hard job. I was like, it is, but I love talking to people like you. So,
Right. And that's the thing. You have a passion for it where people need to find that passion.
Side note, I got a squish toy. It's a ball with I thought it was chalk in it or like some type of powder, but it was like a whipped cream type of thing. It was a squish toy I got at Walmart. So people have been like pulling it apart lately.
What?
Like stretching it. I'm like, why the fuck would you stretch a ball that's going to tear?
They want to pop it.
So today it tears.
Yeah, of course.
And of course it explodes all over this young lady in my office. Face, clothing, like arms, their chest.
I'm holding
And I'm
back
like,
right now. I'm really Can you
I'm
not?
like, please don't make any comments. Because I do not want to get sued. I'm like, girl, so you'll go in the bathroom now and you clean yourself up, and I'm gonna write this down and document it and then
Really?
tell my boss, because I'm not getting in trouble for this.
That's what I say to my girl every night.
Yeah, oh my god.
Hey girl, I gotta
She's in
document this real
She's in
quick.
the bathroom. She goes, it's all over my chest.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, girl, I'm gonna open the door now because it was so funny and so awkward. It was so funny. And I knew that fucking thing was gonna explode on someone eventually. I knew it. I thought it was gonna be worse. I thought it was gonna be powder. It was like this pink shaving cream that came out of it.
Yeah, shit, they sell it at Walmart. What's happening over
It's a
there?
little squish toy, and I think it was pink because the plastic that it was in was pink. The whipped cream itself was probably white.
Whipped cream.
Hilarious side note. The shit that happens in my office, hilarious sometimes.
Well, on that side note, let's it's all over my chest. It'd be like I would have ran into your office, be like, "What's happening in here? What's going on?"
I died. I'm like, you're gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna look out the window at the other side of the building, and you can just do your thing.
Yeah, you just clean yourself off, honey. Thanks,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
it was funny.
All right. Well, anything else about Grogu, Mandalorian, Pedro
Uh,
Pascal?
The biggest thing I was trying to harp on was, like you talked about, choices.
Mm.
It's different for the person that's the mentor or the coach, the parent, the loved one, the therapist. Is different for the person that's making that choice, right? Because they don't know what to do.
Right.
They're like you, indecisive. What do I do? I'm trusting you.
Right.
I wanted to talk about the intrusive thoughts and how that can be playing into this. I wanted to talk about love and relationships just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then personalities, being authentic to who you are, but why it's so hard to be that. Why us neurodivergent folks find it hard to move on to the next phase because we just don't trust a lot of people because we've been crapped on so much. And then we finally find someone that soothes our soul. And I'm like, if I can do it, then you can do it. And also, maybe we should find more neurodivergent friends because that's who you tend to vibe with. And so maybe we need to do that. But they're like, I don't know who's neurodivergent or not. I'm like, valid.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Who am I? I don't
You
know.
need a spectrum radar.
Well, yeah, we'll trademark that. That'll be good.
I'll get sued later. So it's a lot of different complications, man. I just want to share some stories of a lot of women that I've been working with OCD, anxiety, trying to find their way, trying to make the right choices, trying to be connected to the right people, right? It's just tough. I'm glad Grogu did what I wanted him to do in Boba Fett.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. You can, that's the thing. It's like, I think everybody knew he was coming back at some point because it was just like, you can't not have Baby Yoda in there, right?
Yeah.
Way too much cheddar, way too much connection.
Yeah. He's cute as shit, and everyone loves the father-son vibe.
It's true.
It's kind of like Jack from This Is Us. Like, he's just such a good dad. It's like, fuck.
Right. Why? Why you gotta be a good dad, bruh?
Why you gotta be so good? That's how Bad Batch was season 1. Now I just hate season 2.
Yeah, I've noticed you did not like season 2 at all.
Yeah, well, it lost its main storylines, and then they're not really doing the dad thing anymore. They are.
No.
It's a different story, different day.
It is. All right. So with that, thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate it. Once again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, follow, go check out our TikTok.
Tell me what you need, tell me.